guys. Right, it's been a while because I was banned on YouTube for a couple of weeks and then I got very busy with stuff. So yeah, a few things are happening. So as you know, Trump has won. He has not lost. It's all bullshit again. People have to realize, why do you think we call it doing the right thing and not doing the left thing or the wrong thing? Because there is a reason for it, because as I've explained before, if you look back at my videos, even from years ago, though some of them were deleted, it's all about the Kundalini rises a certain way, and you always have to go via the left brain before you can go to the right brain, and from the right brain you then go to the pineal gland and you can shoot up to the crown. The left brain is known as the Semitic brain and the right brain is known as the Aryan brain. So it's always about going right and doing the right thing. So that has been reflected in politics as well, but of course every party gets infiltrated. So the left is wrong because the left is always wrong, okay, and the right is the right thing to do. That's why the Republican Party, the Conservative Party, for example, in England, was created by the people, for the people, to preserve and conserve our common law. So as long as we have a conservative government, they cannot do away with our common law, which is why it's good that Boris Johnson actually won, even though, unfortunately, yeah, he's the infiltrator, he's a Zionist shill. But there's still a few good people in the Conservative Party, okay? And this is why all this COVID bullshit is all guidelines. They can never turn it into law, because our true law is common law, which means no victim, no crime, okay? So it's the same in America. The Republican Party is the Conservative Party, is the right party. So the amount of fraud that has been committed, this is why I think Trump has allowed it to happen, because people have to know what's going on. The leader of Germany in 1933 wasn't strategic enough, and no, he didn't do what people think he did. What they're doing to Trump, they did to him as well. Back then it was all propaganda. He also had Jews in his army and all that, so it's all complete fucking bullshit. What they're doing to Trump, they did back then as well. However, the leader of Germany wasn't very well, he was strategic in a certain way. He lacked a little bit of a sense of humor, which Trump has, which always helps, especially in these times. So this time he's allowing the demons to expose themselves properly. So what's going on is people got paid to put Biden on the ballots. A lot of ballots came from outside of America. They didn't allow the Republican people to look at the way the votes were being counted, because they cheated there as well. The machines are owned by the Rothschilds, so that cheated as well. Thousands of dead people voted as well. So it's all being exposed. It's all going to end up in the Supreme Court, I'm sure. And a lot of people are under house arrest. People think that, you know, like for example, like Trudeau and all these people are still in charge. They're not. That they are under house arrest, but they allow them to sort of play out, and this is why they appear to be very stupid for those who have eyes to see. I mean, look at Biden, look at the shit he's coming out with. I mean, anyone in their right mind would go like, what the fuck, I can't vote for this, right? And okay, I used to think that voting is a waste of time, and it used to be. It's true, voting has been a complete waste of time, because everything is already selected beforehand, until Trump, and until the leader of Germany in 1933, they didn't count on that. So, so basically our voices do count right now. It is about doing the right thing. So Trump has allowed themselves to expose themselves so that you can see that, yeah, I mean, the Democrats on the media are the same thing. The media, Hollywood, all of that is part of the same fucking cabal. And they are exposing themselves. There's very few people even at Fox now that really stand for what's right. I think there's Lou Dobbs, Tucker Carlson, Laura Ingraham, and there might be a couple of others that sort of help out a little bit, but all the rest, I mean, it's all owned by Murdoch anyway. So hang in there, because we're in for a ride. The winter solstice is the Great Conjunction at 0 degree Aquarius between Saturn and Jupiter, and this is what this election is all about. It's all to do with what's going to happen then. So the other thing people don't realize is that the reason why it's called COVID-19 is because they're at least a year to even up to a couple of years late. It was meant to by the way, pandemic, pan means all or everything. Demic comes from demos, which means people. So pandemic actually means to panic the people or all the people, because pan also means all and everything. So there's no contagious disease out there. That's all a fucking lie. So done by bioresonance, as I've explained before. A cold or a flu is you detoxing shit out of your body like poison. And poison in Latin means virus. Virus means poison. So it was meant to come out in January. The pandemic was really, or that bullshit of COVID-19 was really meant to start a year before, like in January 2019, not 2020. Because I had all the paperwork already ready, you know, saying C19 on it. So because it didn't, because of Trump, I think it didn't come out till a year later. There was already all printed out. They couldn't redo it, so they stuck with the name 19 because it was in 2020. You should say COVID-20, right? So. I mean, you know, people, you got to wake up, you got to use your fucking third eye to see through all the fucking bullshit, right? You really do, because these eyes alone won't fucking do. And those that haven't got the eye to see are just fast asleep, and they pretend to, oh yeah, meditate, but if they can't fucking see what's going on in the world outside, they are not awake whatsoever, sorry to say. So all these lies are being completely exposed. And they are late because now they are panicking. They were meant to kill a good 50% of us everywhere worldwide. I think apart from the Chinese and Japanese, because they're so subservient already. This is why they've been laying out all the fucking 5G fibers. They've been trying to put as many towers as possible, even though, yes, it's not switched on everywhere, but the idea was to switch it on definitely before that Great Conjunction, because once the Great Conjunction comes, it's going to be very, very difficult for them to do so. So they're behind, and this is why the panic, because Hillary Clinton definitely was meant to win, and even though they've been rigging election forever, they've been, you know, what did Stalin say, you know, whoever counts the votes, you know, is the one that decides who comes in. And of course they've had their minions in place, plus their fake machines in place for a long, long time. So the elections have been rigged forever. The Rothschilds always choose who they want, and Clinton was meant to be winning. And that was rigged as well. But so they didn't realize that so many people were going to vote for Trump. Therefore, too many people hated him, so they didn't rig it enough for them to win. Only this time they've done everything they possibly could to rig it as much as possible. And even that proved difficult. This is why they had to stop counting the votes on the night of the elections, because Trump was winning. Even with their rigging, so they had to stop and wait for more rigged ballot papers to come in to make sure that Biden sort of, you know, got in. But anyway, because it's all a fraud and being exposed, he's not in. The media is lying. He has not fucking won anything. Nobody's won until they've won, and he hasn't fucking won anything, because all these people, I think Trump allowed it to happen. He knew this would happen. He's allowed it to happen. He could have stopped it beforehand, you know, and put the right machines in place and everything, but I don't think he wanted to do that, because nobody would have believed him. But now, you know, he's allowed it to happen so people can see really what's been going on. Now, during this Grand Conjunction, the torus fields of our flat Earth are going to expand, and a lot of energies are going to come in. This is why they want as much chemtrailing as possible on the 5G to kill as many people as possible, because it's going to wake people up. That Great Conjunction, anybody that was unable to see it will activate their pineal gland one way or the other. I don't think it's going to be a big shock. I think they're only going to be allowed to see what they can see without too much shock. I don't think that the godly presence would do that. And for people that still don't believe that or trust that Trump is who he says he is, I've researched him for a year now, and people have to realize there is benevolence in this world. Otherwise, it would have been fucked a long time ago. And of course, even within that circle, Trump is within that circle and within those families, but even within them, there is good people. Even in the Rothschilds, there's been a couple of good people from the Rothschilds as well, but of course, they will get killed by their own kind because they don't want to be exposed. So there is good everywhere, and just like there is evil everywhere. You always have about the same amount, because you know, like it can never go overboard, otherwise there's too much of a pullback, you know. So it is about like doing the godly thing, but when you're balanced, you can use your left side when needed, which is your ego, really, in some ways. Okay, you can use it whenever you need it. For example, you know, I love that sentence, which is, yeah, it's all about goodness, it's all about good, and it's all about love, but always have a knife by your side. But what is love? The New Age thinks love is like, just, hearts and hugging people. Or not. No, it is not that. Love is care, love is honesty, love is integrity, love is decency. All those things, that is love. Has nothing to do with some fluffy fucking bullshit. And most of them that preach all this New Age love, you can hear them behind doors fighting with their partners. Where's the fucking love there, right? So, like people have no idea what love is really. It's incredible. So there's a lot going on. So all this is being allowed to be exposed, as I said, because it has to be, because people have to see the extent of the lies. That's the only way Trump can do it. Otherwise, if he would have won, and stop the rigging before, people would not have believed it. Now Trump has recalled the American bases from all over the world to America, because he knows once this is all exposed, Antifa, BLM, Extinction Rebellion, and all the real left hard wing are going to go on the string and create chaos on the civil war in America. This is why he has had to do that, which is great anyway, reclaiming everything. Now I've thought at first, well, he's given Jerusalem to Israel, but the thing is, it's not about the people, all the people in Israel. It's not about the little Jews and all that. It's about the elites, that rule them, which are really the Phoenicians. But it is true that there is no difference between Freemasonry, Satanism, Judaism, and communism. Any rabbis that have left the movement will tell you that. Okay, so, and I've noticed that in Israel right now there's a massive Christian movement. A lot of Jews who are not Jews, they're just human beings like the rest of us. I don't even know what they carry on with that name, because it doesn't mean anything, because we're all Israelites anyway. We are all the 12 tribes of Israel, and the true Jew is somebody who's enlightened, and this is not, nobody is born enlightened. This is something that you acquire by merit. So basically, I've noticed there's a massive Christian movement that they are really going against the rabbinical Judaism in Israel. It's amazing to see, but they will also need to be told the real truth about the term Jew, so they can drop that name. We need to have no labels. The only label is you're either in your left mind, wrong mind, or you're in your right mind, or you're somewhere in between. But that's the reality of things. God, there were so many things I wanted to talk about. I can't remember what else. This is quite a year. It's been quite obviously a horrible year for everybody, for me as well. I've been screwed a couple of times this year, not being my fault, but don't worry, because I never let go. I'm Cancerian. I never let go, and I always get what I want in the end, or what is owed to me. So if this person is watching now that owes me, you will be exposed. I will make sure that you won't be able to work anywhere. I will make sure that people know who you really are, everywhere in the world where you're meant to be working or traveling to. Your reputation is going to be destroyed, so don't worry about that. It will be done, unless I get what I want. By Christmas, I might let it go until the 8th of January, because I paid that person on the 8th of January, so as long as I get everything back, it's going to be a year. No more excuses. So sorry, I don't usually put my dirty laundry out there, but I'm just thinking, this guy is not responding to me anymore. So if he sees that, I know he's not going to want his reputation destroyed, let alone him being taken to fucking court. So anyway, there you go, on that little subject. And yeah, so basically, coming back to the Great Conjunction, they're a year late with the C19, because it's in the name anyway, and they wanted to make sure that, I think by mid this year, they wanted to definitely have destroyed a lot of us, yeah, but it's not been happening because Trump has been a spanner in the works. Thank God for him. I think you should thank fucking Trump, and you should pray for him more than anything else. When people say clones don't exist in the way that you think they do, they don't exist. It is not true. It is not true, not in the way that you think. However, are you aware of how advanced they are with holograms? You would actually think that your best friend was in front of you, 3D, the whole lot. So a lot of these arseholes that you still see in the mainstream media, these are just holograms because a lot of them are under house arrest. So they're using holograms or doubles because Prince Charles has a double, Clinton has a double, but they're all under house arrest. You can see the pictures; they all have that band around there, you know. So it has been happening, but I think it's not to shock people that are really, really fast asleep. Can you imagine? You know, they would say that Trump was a conspiracy theorist if he told them what these people are. Demons, they eat our children, or they do. Most people go like, "Oh, are you fucking mad?" Right? A lot of us now know. I mean, I've been onto this stuff since 2008, so I know what's been going on, and I'm not scared of anything. So I can take, you know, anything. I'm not a new ager, so people tell me, "Oh, this is going on." I'm like, okay, let me look into it because I'm not scared of my dark side. I love my dark side. I've made peace with my dark side. As I said, I'm a lovely person. I'm in a state of love. I have integrity and so on. However, you fuck with me, you don't want to fucking fuck with me. You really don't. I don't care who you are. I don't care, you know, I don't care who you are. You really do not want to fuck with me. I promise you that. Anybody that's fucked with me has learned the hard way. Each time. Each and every time. And this one that hasn't learned his lesson yet, he will do by the end of this year, later. So, yeah, so anyway, just a little update. There was other things I wanted to say, but I can't remember it all. So yeah, so as I said, I was banned for a couple of weeks. I think the ban was lifted about 2 weeks ago, so I could have done, I think the ban was up till the election or something, like, or the day after the election, unfortunately. Oh yeah, and as far as the tsunami that hasn't happened, it could still happen. I think once Trump is completely in charge again, I think things are going to change very, very quickly. But now Nancy Pelosi, the Clintons, they're the ones that own, that are really behind Lockheed Martin as well. So they do own very disgusting arms, like these laser technology that can set everything on, burn everything on, erase everything to the ground. So there's still that. So the minions are still kind of in charge of certain things. So Trump has to sort all that out as well. That's why he needs to stay in, you know, and he will win. There is no way. Plus, 90% of the people in the army and in the police support him anyway. So there is no way they want to be defunded. So whatever happens, there will be a civil war anyway in America. But Trump will be the victor. I promise you that. We will be the victors, you know, because him and us are the same, you know. And when people in the New Age say we are all one, I'm sorry, we are not all one. The only place we are all one is within. Because within you are all alone, so you are all one within. We are all individuals outside, okay? We are part of the one, but we are also individuals. So, as I say, within the one, there is the many, and within the many, there is the one. But the male and the female will always exist, and the Trinity, the Holy Trinity, will always exist. So even the one contains all that. So when people say you're all one, I'm not all one with all the fucking demons out there. Sorry to say, no fucking way. I have fuck all to do with them, right? Nothing to do with that. I'm not all one with anybody. I'm only all one with myself within. I am not one with anyone, because you are unique. You are an individual, and this is what the left have been trying to destroy. And instead, what they've done, they've reinforced what is wrong in the left side of our brain rather than what is right. So logic, which is part of the left brain, is great. We need all that. But the ego, which is also part of the left brain, is completely wrong, you know. And this is what they've been doing, you know. They have enforced the ego, me, like, you know, I'm the chosen one, you know, blah, I'm one of the chosen ones, and all this fucking, they've been really doing that. And this is also why, another thing that needs to stop, which you know, which I probably can't talk about this really properly on YouTube at the moment, maybe next year, because, by the way, Trump has been taking all the big tech to court, Facebook, Twitter, I think YouTube and others as well, for their against free speech agenda. So next year at some point there'll be new platforms on YouTube. We'll be able to have free speech and tell the truth again. So what I was going to say is circumcision has to end. It destroys the pineal gland, and I can prove it to anybody. And the only way, and this is why we have to have compassion towards people that have been circumcised, because it's not their fault. It's a perpetuation because it's always been done within their tribe. This has to stop. It destroys the pineal gland. And the only ones that survive is, two groups survive the repercussions of circumcision. One is the ones that are already awake, that's for some reason have been born into these families, but to try and shake them up. But they're already enlightened and already awake, but they purposely came into that family, knew that they were going to have to suffer that, but because they're already in their right mind, they're able to bypass somehow what's been done to them to a certain extent, though they would still have to meditate. But those, and then the other ones that survive those are meditate a lot, do a lot of yoga or tai chi or musicians, some kind of creativity. They are able to also bypass the effects of circumcision, which is the ultimate MK Ultra. Well, the first MK Ultra is birth. I mean, well, actually, somebody told me it's even before birth. If you have an ultrasound during your pregnancy, that fucks up the baby already. So this is the first trauma. Even in the womb, we seem to be experiencing trauma, not let alone from what our parents, may put us through, like they're not getting on or whatever, the ultrasound. And then the second trauma really is birth itself, because we should be birthed in water and at least keep the umbilical cord until it drops out naturally, a lotus birth, basically. And then the third trauma is circumcision of male or female, and then after that is everything else in between, right? So a lot of stuff is going to have to change, and we're going to have to start somewhere. So I'm really glad. The one thing I'm the most glad about is that everything is being exposed. Like, if you can't fucking see it by now, there's probably no hope for you, right? And anyway, yeah. So I'm going to leave it there, but lots of love, guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.